All right, hey Jake. So thanks for sending those videos. So this is the second part where I'm going to talk about, a summary of part one. But I think that, you've got a lot of things that are really unteachable, that are really good in your golf swing. I think if we can get the arms in a different spot, we can get the club coming from a different place, which will change some things and allow, how great your body already moves to improve. Because what ends up happening is, there's in golf, in the golf swing, there's rotation happening. There's some linear motion happening depending on the shot we're hitting. So there's some linear movement, and there's also some down and up movement happening. So typically, if someone has too much of one thing, they have not enough of another, and vice versa. So it kind of works in that way. So what I see in your golf swing is the arms get really up, like really, and when I say upright, up. So there's a lot of up, down in your golf swing. And what happens is golf swings that have a lot of up are going to have a lot more of a slide to them. Because if you had your arms up and rotated, you'd miss the golf ball. So in order to swing when the arms are up, we've got to slide the body and keep it from rotating so that the arms can have some semblance of staying to the inside. So if the arms are really up and I've got a lot of linear motion, then I can see how you would hit those sort of skied shots to the right that would bug you, especially with the driver. So what we have to do is look at how you pivot your body a little differently, and then look at where your arms are supposed to be, or where they should travel to, based on how the arms and the body work together in the backswing. So what we saw was the first thing, I thought you had a really good setup, obviously really athletic. I loved everything about it. In the takeaway, however, this yellow line, so this yellow alignment rod that I just put down is going to represent sort of the line that the ball's on. So it's called the baseline in some schools of teaching, or the ball line. Let's just call it the ball line for today. So this is the line the golf ball would be on traditionally. Now, if I set up to this line, okay, in your golf swing, I saw the hands go out away from you while simultaneously sort of rolling the forearm. So it's out, away, and rolling. So the hands are going this way while the forearms are going like this way. So like when I say rolling the forearms, it's like turning the steering wheel. The forearms are rolling, okay? So think of, if the forearms roll, what's the club face doing? Okay, so you're taking this back out here with the arms rolled. Where you saw Rory, when he took it back, this shaft traced this yellow line and the club went straight back. So his hands are essentially going straight back from here to here, and his club head are going straight back from here to here. So one other thing that you saw was that he wasn't as down in the legs as you were throughout the backswing. So you've got it going out here, rolling a touch, and really down in the legs. So you've got, the more down you go in the legs, the less you can turn your hips. So you do that a little bit to excess with the legs going straight down, which hinders your body's ability to turn, which hinders your arm's ability to move and come from the inside. Because you have the body going down and the arms going up, and there's really no rotational force in your backswing. So the first thing we have to clean up is this shaft. All I want it to do is trace this yellow line. I want it to trace. So the first drill for you will be to get into a mirror and just work on the takeaway. It's really simple. You've seen people do where they roll the golf ball away, or other drills that people do just to kind of get this position right. Because this position, the first 18 inches, is what really sets up the rhythm, and it's what really sets up the sequencing of the swing. So if we've got the arms over actively rolling while going out away from us, it's just going to set things up to get into an awkward spot up here. So it's going to affect, obviously, where this golf club's coming from. So let's take this to where you do, like, 3 sets of 10, just feeling like I'm just trying to trace this yellow alignment rod. Just straight back, straight back, straight back, straight back, straight back. Okay, now here's the kicker. I can't go perfectly straight back and straight through. The only way I'd be able to do that is if the shaft was vertical, like a true pendulum, okay? However, in the golf swing, we can't go straight back, straight through, because we're bent over this way and the club is on an inclined plane. So even though it feels like, from my perspective, I'm taking this golf club straight back, it's moving to the inside. Because where this club should be right here, my right hand should be on top of my left hand. The club face should be slightly closed or square to the arc, 10 degrees closed, and right on my hands. Okay? So that's if that's the deal. I'm feeling like, from my perspective, I'm taking it straight back, but on camera, when I look at it, it'll come to the inside slightly, and it should, okay? Because then what that led to was your hands are out here, and then everything goes straight up to the sky, which I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of high hands and more sort of linear motion, because that's what I see in Watson, that's what I see in Nicklaus. But those guys aren't as down in the legs as you are. So they have more rotation to their hips. So at the top of their backswing, yeah, their arms feel like they're going straight back, and their arms feel like they're going up, but they're simultaneously churning their hips massively. So that gets the club, if my arms go straight up, and watch this, I'm just gonna go straight up, now turn my body. I'm just turning from my ribs to my mid-thigh, so my entire torso. If my arms are here, turn my torso. They move, and they move to the inside. So now I can hit draws. I got the club coming from here, versus just straight up, straight down with linear motion that causes you to kind of pop it up. So, straight back, we'll clean up the takeaway. This is easy, and you can do this, pretty simply. I just don't want the arms to do this at all and go out away from you at all. I just want them to feel like they go straight back and everything moves as one unit, kind of one piece together as you take it away. Then what you saw out of Rory was, as he turned his body, he was tall in his legs here. And then as he takes the club up to here, he's turn, turn, turn. But this leg isn't super flexed. This leg is, there's a little flex in the knee, but it's pretty straight, because I need this right hip to get higher, this right rib to get higher, this right shoulder to get higher than my left side. So I don't want to be here restricting my hip turn. I want this to be taller. It's still strong, but this pivots straight back. So from a face-on view, it looks like this. Kind of straight back. There, okay? So from here to here, the entire body's turning while staying centered. So I'm just turning around my spine. And that's where you saw Rory had his hands covering his right bicep, and your arms were out here with way less hip turn. So the pivot of the body is what's going to clean up the position of your arms. You clean up your takeaway, that'll get your arms in the right spot here. Then it's all about body pivot to get their arms the rest of the way deep. I'm not trying to pull my arms inside on their own. I'm not trying to do it all with my arms or all with the club. The arms take the club straight back away one piece, then the body turns to get the arms deep. Then I have everything set up to come from the inside in transition. So the drill I want you to do for your backswing is, I want you to take the club or driver or some sort of workout stick or something and focus on your backswing pivot. So watch this. My head's gonna be dead centered. I'm gonna turn my right hip, right knee, right rib, right shoulder, my entire right side of the torso here. It's going to turn straight back, straight back, straight back, straight back, while I stay centered. So I'm centered, turn, centered, turn, centered, turn. From the behind view, watch my right hip, right rib, right shoulder get higher than my left side. So the right side gets loaded up because I'm pivoting straight back. The right hip gets higher than the left hip. So that's going to be the drill. 3 to 4 to 5 sets of 10, focusing on being centered and just turning centered. But I want you to notice that this right leg, as this right hip goes high, this leg elongates or lengthens. This left knee goes down while I turn around here, turning around my spine. So all I'm really doing is just turning around my spine. But this right leg, remember your swing had really down in both knees, where Rory was tall on this right leg, tall on this right leg. So he could get maximum depth out of how his ribs, hip, and shoulder load. It's the same thing you do every time you throw a football. This whole side loads back to throw it. Same thing I'm doing with this, except I'm throwing the golf club. Load back to throw it down back in front of me. So, if we can clean up your takeaway, the club will be here. Then, if we can clean up your body's pivot, the arm depth is going to be a lot more along your shoulder plane. That means the club's going to be coming from a totally different place than where you have it currently coming from. And then we'll be able to build layers on top of that. So let's start with this right now. I mean, this isn't a big workout plan or a big swing overhaul. This is just, let's work on cleaning up the takeaway for a couple weeks. Then let's work on, while we're cleaning up the takeaway, let's work on pivoting the body better. Not being so rigid in the legs, so down in the legs. More, the entire right side turns around the spine. And then let's see where that puts you. Because if we can clean up the takeaway and get your body turning better, the club's gotta come more from the inside, the same way you saw Rory. And it'll just make life a lot easier because it'll be shallower, not as steep. It'll be coming more from the inside, not across it. And all kinds of cool things will go on from there. So that's all I've got for you today. I appreciate it, buddy. And obviously we're pals, so reach out to me anytime. But if we can get these two pieces, I like where you're at because your body moves better than most I've seen through impact to the finish. So thanks again, Jake.